Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's headlines, we join Tzu Chi volunteers in China as the humanitarian seminar for children opens in Suzhou. In a new series of feature reports, Taking the Sadness Away, we learn about ways to cope with the loss of loved ones and deal with our emotions. And the positive influence of Jingsi algorithms is reaching Tainan and parents and children at the Kaiyuan Elementary School. First up in today's show, with the help of many junior college students, Tzu Chi's Summer Humanitarian Seminar in Suzhou opened on Monday, July 9th. This year, the seminar is teaching children ways to safeguard our planet through taking on a vegetarian diet as well as sorting recyclables.
Nearly 90 children are planning a happy and meaningful summer holiday, and they are taking part in the Suzhou Humanitarian Seminar. In the early morning, they arrive at the Jingsi Books and Cafe to sign up and enter the Vegetable Kingdom. In order to welcome the little guests, citizens of the Vegetable Kingdom from different colleges in East China are busy with preparation work.
We have to treat them as our own family. He's our brother, she's our sister. Girls can hold hands or hold her and ask, "What is your name?"
According to custom, after landing on Planet Pumpkin, the volunteers extend their hospitality. They are treating the children as their own siblings and making them feel at home. The well-groomed guests are allowed to meet with the king and the queen of Vegetable Kingdom. They also take on the local custom as they are learning about the planet's treasure, which is humanitarian etiquette.
You have to give your parents and friends a surprise. You must pay attention in the future and learn the wisdom of your parents and older siblings.
In the coming week, college volunteers and volunteering parents will teach these youngsters to safeguard our environment, as well as provide lessons on charity, filial piety, and gratitude.
Also educating children on the importance of environmental protection are the volunteers in Luzhou's Jingsi Hall, who recently held a 3-day youth workshop. During the seminar, students learned that with small actions, they too can contribute their share to help our planet.
This year, Tzu Chi's Children's Life Development Camp focuses on the topic of cherishing our Earth. The volunteers demonstrate ways to save our planet by promoting concepts of zero waste, such as the recycling of wash basin water for floor cleaning.
The recycled water can clean the floor really well because it has some soap in it.
During class, the students are making coin banks and labeling them with different names, such as electricity coin bank or water-saving coin bank. The volunteers say the money saved in the coin banks can help the needy.
When you want to purchase something, you can think about whether you really need it. When you save the money, it can help others.
To save energy and fight against the heat, the volunteers came up with a good idea.
We will only use the air conditioner for an hour, and after the room has cooled down, we will use electronic fans.
Thanks to the 3-day camp, now the children understand the importance of cherishing and giving. They promised they would do their part to save our planet.
Continuing on yesterday's story on Tzu Chi College of Technology students' overseas program, where the Goodwill ambassadors have made their first stop in Malaysia. Their first performance on July 7th at Fun Yu Junior High School in Johor Bahru attracted audience members from previous years.
In Johor Bahru, it is rare to see a Chinese play. To see one for children is even rarer.
He said, "Mom, I want to go." And then he said he also wanted to bring his friends.
This is the 6th year Tzu Chi College of Technology has come to Johor Bahru's Fun Yu High School to put on a play.
it drew an audience of 2,000 people. I feel that this is a good event. The last one I saw was about conservation. The costumes and dances are very entertaining. Tzu Chi College of Technology students put on a children's play every year. The writing, directing, and acting are all done by students. In the past, I would worry that students would not perform well, but after a few years, I slowly realized that I was underestimating the students. This year's playwriters saw the play last year, so they know how to interact with students. This year's story's main characters are children's favorites, Prince and Princesses saving the kingdom.
The first year's play, I think, was about habits. When the children went home, they would recite the words and know that you should remain seated while eating, lest a fairy turn you into a dog or a cat. They still remember that.
The audience applause makes all the hard work worth it, and the students all feel like stars.
The tendency towards suicidal behavior can be affected by the changing seasons or when one is moving on to a different stage in life. In Taiwan, every year from April to July, including Tomb Sweeping Day and Dragon Boat Festival, a time of both family reunions but also of school graduations, is a period when suicide rates reach its peak. When one commits suicide, bereaved family members spend their lives feeling guilty or grieving for the loss of their loved ones. In the first of our feature reports on Taking the Sadness Away, we find out about ways to deal with the pain of losing our family members.
For my monthly center project, I did the one about what I would put in my tomb when I died. And here it is! Admire it for a while before I go on.
Delivering a presentation in front of the camera is 12-year-old Felix, who ended his own life inside his closet one afternoon in 1996.
When I entered the room, my son was lying there. He was quite strongly built, and he was just lying there as quietly as if he was asleep.
Facing the loss of his son, Dr. Wen Bi-qian from Taiwan was in great pain yet remained particularly calm, because in Chinese societies, people tend to suppress their emotions. Here at the National Taipei University of Nursing and Health Science, a garden has been designed to allow people to grieve for the loss of their loved ones.
This area is filled with tears, so there's no need to feel ashamed when you are sad and crying. I tell everyone that it is natural for us to cry when we feel depressed. But our culture tells us to get over the sadness, be strong, and move on. It doesn't allow for weakness or tears.
Feelings of sadness shouldn't be repressed or intentionally forgotten.
I often ask them to tell the leaves their worries, not to tell them to me. And I come here and tell him to throw that leaf into the water. The leaf normally drifted really slowly or in circles. I would ask, "What's wrong?" He would say, "Teacher, it's not moving, it's stuck, and it's going around in circles." That's actually quite like our emotions when we are bereaved.
Professor Ling asked her students to discuss how to get the leaves to flow and talk about their feelings. Through this process, the students also get to deal with their emotions. Inside the garden, on a black marble wall are family oblations carved in different languages and scripts, giving visitors an opportunity to express their love and gratitude.
I often say that death is not the end. but the beginning of a new relationship. So that's why we need to build a new relationship. Even if one passes away, that relationship is still there. And through certain means, we are able to make connections with the deceased. At home, we should be able to talk openly and think about our loved ones who have passed on.
Not just a garden with beautiful flowers, but one that helps visitors face their emotions and heal their pain. The drifting leaves go through self-care, seeking assistance, and finally end up in the self-reconciliation area.
We pick it up and dig a hole and bury the leaflet inside. That's symbolic of finding a place for things in our heart. We don't try to encourage others to forget about the past because it is impossible to forget. Instead, we tell them to find a place for it inside their hearts.
Arriving at Yilan's Kaishan Junior High, this teacher is educating her students about the value of life from a mother's perspective. Children of this age generally do not seek help, so the school hopes with this tranquility wristband to give students a channel through which to vent their emotions.
When I am angry or unhappy, I will turn it over to the red side. When some of my classmates notice, they will ask what's wrong and care for me.
At first, when my classmates asked me, I didn't really want to answer. But after a while, I tried to talk about my feelings and why I felt the way I did.
When kids come to me, I actually encourage them, and most of the time, I keep telling them that it's all right to be angry and upset. It means you care and are willing to make an effort.
Only when we accept children's negative emotions and accompany them in dealing with difficulties are we able to help them overcome setbacks in life with flying colors. Tzu Chi Care recipient 74-year-old Grandma Yang lives in Tainan City's Anping district. Suffering from diabetes, the elderly woman's vision is rapidly deteriorating. Her daughter and granddaughter who live with her also have poor vision, thus making their residence untidy. Knowing the family's plight, Tzu Chi volunteers arrive to help with cleaning up, hoping to give them a neat and tidy living environment.
Tzu Chi volunteers are cleaning Grandmother Yang's house and always check with her whether old things may be thrown out to make sure they don't throw away her precious memories.
We want to help her. It's as if she's our own grandmother. When we see her in this living environment, it saddens us. So we've come to help.
Tzu Chi volunteers carefully sort through Grandmother Yang's diabetes and eye medications, separating those that have passed their expiry dates.
These medications are all out of date. We can't throw them out because they'll pollute the environment. So we have to return them to the hospital to be taken care of properly.
It's narrow and cramped in here. There's not enough space for 4 or 5 people, so it's not easy to clean.
The workspace is limited both inside and outside. Tzu Chi volunteers have to dodge traffic in the lane that runs past the house. After hours of hard work, the volunteers have finally created a clean and bright living environment.
I'm so happy and so grateful.
What's most important is that we volunteers hope to give Grandma Yang both a comfortable and warm family home. We want her to be healthy and happy.
Although they can't ease Grandmother Yang's physical discomfort, Tzu Chi volunteers can soothe her heart with love.
A family in Penghu has been hard-pressed financially as the head of the family, Mr. Huang, recently underwent multiple surgeries for cancer. When Tzu Chi volunteers learned that the family was forced to sleep in the living room because the bedroom floor has been eaten away by termites, they decided to help renovate their house.
The bedroom floor of the Huang family home is blackened and rotted out. Only about a third of the floorboards are still firm.
When it rains, water from above and water in the drainage are all blocked here. It's flooded underneath.
为什么会这样子？整个都是白银啊。
The Huang family has lived here for 10 years. As the house sits next to a drainage pipe, the excessive humidity rotted out the floorboards. Tzu Chi volunteers work tirelessly to repair the floor.
I'm so grateful to the Tzu Chi volunteers. Seeing them work so hard, I'm a little embarrassed and very thankful.
Due to the humidity and mildew, Mr. Huang coughs so badly he can't sleep. And the health of the family's 2 young children were also affected. Tzu Chi volunteers used the finest building materials available and worked hard to provide the family with a clean sleeping environment.
Firstly, the new floorboard material is termite-proof, thicker and more solid. It also has better moisture absorption qualities.
Volunteers took extra measures to make sure the new flooring is termite-proof.
Most of this wood was eaten away by termites. Before putting in the new flooring, we have to take prevention measures.
It's as if the bedroom has been professionally renovated. You'll sleep peacefully here now.
In appreciation for the volunteers' effort, a neighbor provides refreshment. Tzu Chi volunteers toiled for 8 hours before completing the work. Thanks to Tzu Chi volunteers' love and care, the Huang family's house has become more of a home.
In continuing to promote Jingsi aphorisms through scrolling billboards, Tainan's Tzu Chi volunteers are visiting shops in hopes that these stores will display words of wisdom to help purify the hearts of passers-by. Using electronic billboards not only saves on paper and ink, but LED lights are also much more environmentally friendly. Next, we will take a look at how Jingsi aphorisms have changed students' behavior at Kaiyuan Elementary School.
Tainan's Kaiyuan Elementary School principal Lin Qinghai personally types Jingsi aphorisms into the system. Although he's a Christian, the principal agrees with the aphorisms because he has seen the changes in students' behaviors.
The most obvious fact is that school vandalism has decreased. This means that the students really understand the words and are changing their behavior.
Getting others involved to help spread the words, Kaiyuan Elementary School's guidance counselor has also felt the positive force of Jingsi aphorisms.
I accompanied a few students to get prescription glasses at the shop and spoke with the shop owner about it. He was willing to display Jingsi aphorisms on his scroll light.
If drivers start to read the aphorisms, maybe fewer of them would run red lights. It's safer this way.
People nowadays are impatient, but maybe if they calm down and read the aphorisms while waiting at the red light, they will find peace and be less irritable during their onward journey.
Equipped with persistence, Tainan Tzu Chi volunteers continue to spread these good words from shop to shop.
We hope to use these positive words to bring this community peace and harmony and purify everyone's hearts.
Tzu Chi volunteers visit stores to spread positive words to people with the help of stores' electronic scrolling billboards. They know that persistence is the key to success.
Sometimes the owner isn't there and the shop clerks are unable to make the decisions.
This is the second time we have been to this shop, but we will still come back.
Persistence pays off. Tzu Chi volunteers light up the community with Jingsi aphorisms.
The first aphorism I put up was, "To a beautiful heart, everything is beautiful." Because when you have a good heart, everything around you will be good.
I have seen Jingsi aphorisms on other billboards before, so when you gave me this opportunity to display aphorisms, I was really happy.
One billboard at a time, Jingsi aphorisms surrounds Tainan residents, making their community a better place.
In Indonesia, to encourage more people to join Tzu Chi, volunteers are holding various volunteer training programs. At the Tzu Chi school in North Jakarta, volunteers held a seminar for staff from Tzu Chi Foundation, Tzu Chi Academy, DaAi TV and others. Meanwhile, the training seminar at the Dengkalan Tzu Chi Hospital, also in North Jakarta, was attended by over 200 community volunteers.
This is the scene at the volunteer training program held at the Cingkarang Tzu Chi Hospital in Indonesia. This time, the seminar is attended by over 200 community volunteers.
After today's training program, I have a better understanding of Tzu Chi's teachings and etiquette. I'm also experiencing a closer bond with the other volunteers.
Through the seminar, trainees not only learned about Tzu Chi's teachings and etiquette, but also learned to make eco-enzymes from kitchen scraps.
Saya baru tahu sekarang ini vegetarian itu sangat.
Now I know that being a vegetarian can improve our health and slow down global warming. I have also realized that we have been killing animals indirectly by causing global warming.
Hewan yang tentunya tidak perlu kita bunuh.
Also in Indonesia, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding another volunteer training program at the Tzu Chi school in North Jakarta. This time, the seminar is joined by staff from Tzu Chi Foundation, Tzu Chi Academy, DaAi TV, and others.
I learned about etiquette, good moral values, and how to dress appropriately.
The purpose of the seminar is for trainees to understand what Tzu Chi is and Tzu Chi's humanistic values. We hope everyone can cultivate good habits and do good deeds.
Through the seminar, the trainees learn to express their love through sign language, and that love will overcome differences of race and faith.
In Canada, to attend Tzu Chi's parents and child class, Ottawa volunteers and local families often had to drive 4 to 5 hours to Toronto. This year, the Ottawa Tzu Chi Liaison Office finally held their first parent and child class.
Without driving 4 to 5 hours to Toronto, the Ottawa Liaison Office in Canada is holding its first parent-child class. The camp is designed with classes on recycling and filial piety and is not only joined by children but also their parents. During the camp, participants learn about Tzu Chi's etiquette for walking and eating. The volunteers also lead them in group activities, and many say the time went by too fast.
The camp is too short. I haven't learned everything and it is already the end.
Now, with the success of the camp, Tzu Chi volunteers promise to organize more and more events in the future.
As Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Chings are organizing youth workshops for students this summer holiday, we join senior high school students at the first seminar taking place in Tainan as they learn about Tzu Chi's humanitarian spirit and etiquette. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.